This is
Alex.
Alex,
David.
David,
Harry.
Harry, and I'm Rabbi Yom Tov, and we're on the balcony of the San's Shul. I was just praying in there, and these guys came in out of nowhere, and so I said, "Hey, why don't we learn a little something?" So let's learn something. So what I wanted to share with you guys is, every morning we make all those brachos, and so I thought maybe I'd share a little bit of about the brachos, a little bit. Chevre, chevre. So I want to share a little bit about the brachos, and I'm not going to do we're not going to do all of them. We're not going to go that deep, but just to get you some of them is we'll do these three. Maybe we'll do more. But the first one is Shelo Asani Goy, that he did not make me a Gentile. The word Goy means Gentile. In plural, it's Goyim, it's Gentiles. We're also, but the word Goy means nation. We're also a nation. We're called a Goy Kodesh. We're the holy nation, because the Jewish people were the ones who were at Mount Sinai, and we are the ones who got to see God's nakedness. You understand? Because Mount Sinai was the experience of Mount Sinai was seeing through the matrix. That was where the entire digital simulation of creation was we got to see the back end. We got to see the back end of the website that we're all in right now. And by the way, you might think that's great news to see the back end. It comes with serious liability, man. It's not simple to be a Jew, especially today. People are after us because people know deep down that we're in a special covenant. And in fact, Westerners got a blessing from Jacob that if the Jews don't behave, they get to live by the sword. And that's exactly where they're going. It's exactly where they're going because the Jews aren't behaving. And the Jews, they think Israel is all they need for protection from the exiles, from everything we've gone through over the years. No, being in Israel is a relationship with God. And you can't just be here and think it's like one giant, skull cap, that just by being here, you're covered. No, this is where it really counts. You want to be half a Jew in LA. You want to be half a Jew in Miami. Okay, it doesn't count so much there. Here's where everything counts. This is the Holy Land. The Holy Land. Jews think this land is where we get to go because of the Holocaust. No, the Holocaust happened because we were coming back. God's got on a schedule with us. And part of the schedule of the Messianic era is the Jews are going to come back to Israel. And every time we're coming back to Israel, we get attacked by this weird, freaky nation called Amalek, which was we were coming back from Egypt. We get attacked by Amalek in the desert. We were coming back from Babylon. We get attacked from Persian Empire. We get attacked by in the whole Purim Persia story, where we have another genocide attempt. Because why? Because it was the 70th year, and on the 70th year, we were coming back. And when was the next time we came back? Because think about it. After the Persian exile, when we came back, we built the second temple. It was destroyed by the Romans. 2,000 years later, we're coming back. We had to get an attack. Because every time we come back, we get an attack. And that was the Nazis. And there's proofs to show you that the Nazis were directly from the family of Amalek.
The Megillat Esther, right?
Yeah, and the Book of Esther hints at everything I'm saying here. But I'm not going to go into that. The main thing is that we're a very special nation. But Amalek's grandfather was Esav. And Esav said to Jacob, don't you have another blessing for me? Don't you have a blessing for me? Like, what about me? And Jacob's like, and Isaac was like, sorry, I already gave it to your brother. And who tricked him, by the way. And I already gave him to tricky Jacob. And then he started crying. He wept. And he was like, no blessing for me. And so he gave him a blessing that he could live by his sword when Jacob wasn't keeping. If Jacob doesn't keep his end of the blessing, then Esav, Western people, because Esav is the father of Western civilization, Esav. And therefore, if you happen to be an anti-Semite listening to this, stop hating on the Jews and just find a Jew and get him moving towards Judaism. And you'll see, you'll chill out. You'll be like, oh, like, okay. Like next time you're angry at Jews, just get the Jew to start keeping Torah. Go buy him a book or something, like a basic book. Get him a website, like get him to my YouTube channel. Like how many thousands of Jews have heard my YouTube classes and came back to Judaism? Bam, like, but they don't realize. I was at a blues bar in L.A., and just like a year ago, it was amazing, like blues band playing, and there was a booth full of Arabs. I didn't see them because I was busy watching the band, but on my way back from the bathroom, I get pulled into this like Islamic booth. And they were like, they didn't know anything about Jews or anything about Israel, anything about anything. And I just flown in that day from Israel. And don't ask how I wound up in a blues bar the day I arrived from Israel, but I'm a musician and I like good music. So anyway, I explained to them that their whole anti-Semitism is just it's a missed deep instinct, just missed. Like you're just missing it. Like it's a deep instinct that the Jews are supposed to be doing their job, and it's a rage. It's a rage, and not only that, but we have a tradition, very deep oral tradition, that that in the times of the Messiah, every Jew is going to have a certain amount of Gentiles who get their flow, their divine flow through that Jew. Every Gentile is going to have a Jew that they get their flow through that Jew. Now, if you do the math, is this yours? Yeah, Brian. So if you do the math,
You want to calculate it?
yeah, it let me have calculator without your code. Calculators was on the menu of non-code people. So, if you do the math, you got 14. You got 8 billion. Gentiles, okay, 8 billion goyim, that's 8 million. How do I get to billion? I need, there, 8 billion. Got 8 billion Gentiles divided by, let's say we got about, how many million Jews today? 14 million?
15, 14.
14 million Jews, let's say. 14 million Jews. 14 million Jews equals I think I did 8,000 billion. So let me go back to 8 billion. That's 8 million, right?
8 million, so 3 more.
Well, I do need 3 more.
Yeah.
That's 8 billion
Divided by...
divided by
14 million.
14 million. Oh, so I did it right. It was just a large number. I wasn't expecting such a large number.
Yeah,
One more?
Yeah. Equal. Yeah.
So if you break it up evenly, each one of us has 571 Gentiles who we are basically responsible for their divine flow. Like for them to get the light of Hashem. There's 14. There's, how many was that?
571 per.
571 people. Now imagine you were a Jew. That doesn't create a lot of divine flow because you're trying to act like them. You're being one of them. So that means there's 571 people getting ripped off. Well, let's think about it, guys. If there's 14 million Jews, and this will be cool, man. Check this out. I never did this before. If there's 14 million Jews, but of the 14 million Jews, how many of them actually keep Judaism? We don't know, but I don't know, maybe 2 million?
Yeah.
Let's say 2 million keep Judaism. That's a big number. Okay, 2 million keep Judaism.
Yeah.
So that means 12 million Jews are not keeping Judaism. So 12 million Jews not keeping Judaism times 571. That means
E to the 9 means 9 zeros behind that number,
so it's
6 billion.
60 million.
6.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
and it's close to 6 billion.
Yeah, I mean, most people.
Yeah.
6 billion Gentiles are getting totally ripped off. Totally ripped off. So when they're like PO'd at their wife or at their life or at their anything, or they're just feeling depressed, or they're like nihilistic, or like have gone into progressive nihilism or whatever, and they're just ready to take their own life or kill everyone with them if they're part of the dark triad or dyad, they all they got to do is just go find their Jew. They got to find their Jew. Okay, that's not possible because until the Messianic era, they're not going to be able to find their Jew. So what do they do instead? Any Jew they find, they have to inspire him back to Judaism. They got to get him to up his game. And you can up your game over time. We're in no rush, you got to take a year. Take a year. Add a blessing a day. We got a lot of blessings we say every day, which is what we're going to talk about. So the second blessing that we say is Baruch Atah Hashem Shelo Asani Goy, that didn't make me a Gentile. Gentile, if you're listening, don't know what a Gentile is. It's the Jewish ethnocentric way of saying a non-Jew. Now, how we're 0.001% of the world population, and we think the whole world's divided between Jews and Gentiles, which is like the most crazy ethnocentric, like crazy inflation of reality. But it's, if you're the people from Sinai, it's true. You're either there or you weren't. You're either there or you weren't. Even the converts, we say Kabbalistically, were there, meaning their soul was there. And they're just rejoining the Jewish people again in this life, this incarnation. Now, so we say in the morning that you didn't make me a Gentile. Why don't we just say that you made me a Jew? Blessed are you, God, King of the universe, that made me a Jew. Why do we have to say that didn't make me a Gentile? You want to know why? Because you are a Gentile. You are a Gentile. You just woke up. What good deed have you done at this point? This is the morning blessing. This is when you woke up. You can't say who made me a Jew. Maybe at the end of the day, you act like a Jew. We could talk about a blessing for having been made a Jew. But you wake up every day like every other person wakes up every day. Question is, did you live your day as a Jew? Can you look back at your day when you say Shema at the end of the night that I lived my life as a Jew? You guys can, because look where you are, in the holy city of Tzfat, the mystical city of Tzfat, in the Holy Land. Growing, you growing? You growing? You growing?
Yeah. I think so.
Growing in the holy city of Tzfat. You growing? We're growing. And so you, at the end of the day, you could maybe then you could say a blessing, you made you a Jew, but you can't say it in the morning. Let's see if you're a Jew. The second one, that he didn't make me a slave. Blessed are you, God, King of the universe, for having not made me a slave. Why don't you just say that made me a free man? And the answer is that you are a slave in the morning. You want to stay in bed. You got all kinds of things that you're up to that are like old things from your childhood that you're still playing out. There's not, how much free will you really have? Are you really living your life free? Are you really living free? How much of even your knowledge of who you are? You realize we have no idea who we are. You think I know who I am? I have no idea who I am. But when I get unconscious, all of a sudden I start saying, well, I'm this and I'm that and the other thing, and most of them are negative. Negative self-talk. I'm enslaved to that unless I pull myself up and start speaking nicely about myself. Created, every human being's in the image of God. Like, how can you speak badly about yourself? How can you speak about yourself negatively? Created in the image of God. So the second one is then didn't make me a slave, because until the end of the day, you are a slave. Until you've shown that you can pull yourself up by the bootstraps and make some real choices, rather than just be driven by desire or the animal instincts or the sexuality or anything that would otherwise have you completely in a police headlock. George Floyd? Was it George Floyd? I couldn't remember his first name. A George Floyd headlock. Because it's killing us. It's killing us that we're all enslaved to ourselves. And not to mention things we get stuck in and addictions, and that's slavery. So you can't say, blessed are you, God of the universe, King of the universe, who made me a free man. You are a slave until you can prove yourself free. And then the last one we'll do is, and this one's going to be very not politically correct. Next one is that he, and shame on you if you clip this video and use this against the Jewish people. Certainly against me, because I only am here to love. I've never hurt a soul. The last one is, blessed are you, God, King of the universe, that didn't make me a woman, that did not make me a woman. Why does this say it made me a man? Do you know what women say here? It says it right below. It says, that made me according to his will. When my wife says this blessing every morning, when my mother says it, when my daughters say this blessing, they say for making me according to his will, which is a woman, because clearly it's his will. Yeah, which is very interesting today in the progressive world, where people think it's up to them. It's my will, my will, what gender I am. But the actual blessing for the last 3,000 years, or since the men of the Great Assembly created this, which was 2,500 years, every woman says, who makes me according to his will. But the men say, Shelo asani isha. And you know why the men say it? Because let's see if you're a man by the end of the day. Let's see if you can be a man. Can you be a man? Well, what's a man? What's a man? What's it mean to be a man? So you look no further than last week's parsha, Bereshis. Man's the guy who was cursed to go out and slay his dragons. Man's the guy who has to go out and deal with the thorns and the thistles. He's got to earn by the sweat of his brow. The woman's the one who's taken care of. Our daughters are looked after like the pupil of our eye. And then we marry them off to carefully. We protect them. How are you supposed to marry your daughter off if you didn't protect her on the way? No one's going to want her. So we have to protect them and protect them and protect them so that when they're old enough to get married, someone actually wants them because they were properly protected by you. Which is another reason why you guard your eyes when you see girls on the street or people not dressed appropriately. Why you guard your eyes for that? Because that's someone's daughter. And if he wasn't able to protect her, so he's losing sleep now. Now he's losing sleep over her. And you're going to stare at her. What kind of bro are you to that guy? Be a bro. And
someone's future wife also.
And it's someone's future wife. And not only that, you're going to have daughters one day. And Hashem's going to say, like, you want people to keep their eyes off your girl? Why don't you keep your eyes off everyone else's girls? Have some respect for those men and have some respect for the girl. The poor girl thinks she's a body now. And think about it. Anyone who's interested in a woman because of her body, you already know what kind of guy that is. Not the kind of guy you want raising your children. Girls should wisen up. It's pretty simple math here. If what you're attracting people to is your physical body, then you're not attracting someone who's really going to be the kind of guy that's going to raise a good family.
Are you saying there's no place for physical attraction?
There's tons of places for physical attraction, but there's another term for it, and it's called chen. It's a glow. It's a glow. It's an inner glow that comes from a woman who has been protected and protects herself, and she has something so special. It's way more attractive than physical. Way more attractive. But it's attractive in a place of respect. It's attractive in a place of like, whoa, I can't look. Because this is a Torah scroll. This woman is a Torah scroll. And the Torah, the Bible, in the scroll form it's got a belt, it's got a jacket, it's got a breastplate, it's got a crown. It's like, this woman's walking around like a Torah. And anyway, but those women are protected. And then she finally gets married. So what happens when she gets married? Now let's see, when you guys get married, you guys are single? Yeah. When you guys get married, now she's under your protection. You got to protect your wife. Her job is not the thorns and the thistles. I understand there was a whole women's liberation in the 50s and it became feminism. And ultimately women are like men and they go out there and they're like, unguarded. all the way until now. Then there's the Me Too movement because men treated them the way they ultimately, you know, it led to the whole thing. Women aren't treated that way in my community. There's no Me Too movement in my community. And anyway, when we wake in the morning, we really just want to be cared for. If we could just stay in bed and someone would just bring us food and pay our bills and you know, remain little boys. You understand, girls grow up being cared for as girls, they become women. It's all like pretty natural progression. Men are born as little girls. Listen to a little boy's voice. He's got no hair. It sounds like a little girl, looks like a little girl. You got to take care of him. And then one day, like boom, you know, and then like his body changes, his voice changes. People are becoming less tolerant of him because he's not getting his act together. You know, as Jordan Peterson says, you got plenty of room until you're about 30. Once you're 30, nobody has any patience for you anymore. If you didn't get your act together by 30, no one wants to look at you. If you're a man, or meaning it's this whole Peter Pan thing. Like he's never going to grow up. He won't be an adult. Anyway, but this is shalos ani isha, that you didn't make me a woman because I am a woman until I can be a man. And what does it mean to be a man? It means to make that stiff upper lip and go out to the bitter world outside the home, outside your home, where it is bitter out there, and go face that bitterness. And for this reason, men have little rites of passage that we do. For example, cold plunge. Cold plunge is where a boy becomes a man. All the different things that men do is our little rite of passage, and that are difficult. And the biggest one is drinking shots. Women don't pour, I mean, today they probably do, but women don't pour burning hot, high alcohol down their mouth. Like, they don't take a shot, just let me burn my throat. Men, you ask a man if he wants a shot, what does he do? Immediately he puts his poker face. Take a shot. But they like almost don't even say anything. Everything gets like real, like manly, you know. And then he hands you the shot, you get the shot, you like pop it down one shot, slam it on the table. And you notice your lips, like you're forcing your lips to not show what's really happening, because you really like to scream, but you're not going to scream. And then you're going to even say the word smooth, as if there was anything smooth about this. You could say it's smoother because it was like properly made and stuff, but even the smoothest whiskey is not that smooth. I finally found the smoothest whiskey in the world. Like you could put it in you could gargle it. I mean, you just put it on your tongue and it's like honey. It's called Lagavulin 16.
Lagavulin?
Lagavulin.
Lagavulin.
Yeah, it's an amazing Scotch, Lagavulin 16. Yeah. My closest students know that if they really want to get on my good side, bottle Lagavulin.
Lagavulin?
Lagavulin. L-A-G. Lagavulin. Yummy. So, anyway. So we learned those 3 brachas, and we explained why each one of them. And those who are watching this online, I hope you had a great time. And go ahead and click on my page. And what do you call it?
Like my page. Follow my
It's not a page. It's YouTube.
On
My
YouTube.
channel.
Channel.
Hit my channel and click subscribe. And I took on this year on Rosh Hashanah that I would start doing more of this. I'm getting a lot of complaints that I'm not doing enough. So there you have it. We did it. All the best.
I'm one of the silent complainers, by the way.
Yeah.
I've been